So my first tip in today's video, in terms of how to get into LIS's really exciting bachelor's degree, is make sure that in your personal statement, although they don't actually look at that academically to assess your ability, make sure that you demonstrate interdisciplinary thinking. What they're really keen on, if you have a look at their course structure, they have like particular like problems modules where you might be looking at sustainability. Like for instance, is there an example of a time where you've actually looked at maybe a problem of sustainability in like an EPQ that you've been doing, or something within high school? Have you done any voluntary experience that might be able to look at that? Another one of their topics is on inequality. Have you had to maybe look at how inequality is like affected performances, like from a statistical perspective, like in sport or something? There's so many avenues with this. If you're thinking it's only just for humanities or for sciences people, you'd be very sorely mistaken in this case. But they want to see that your project work has practical application to the real world. And then more importantly, you need to be able to back that up. Because my second point is actually, in terms of backing up what you write, is being able to speak about what you write in an interview. So on paper, on their website, they don't really give any like strict guidelines at all. They actually say, we're not really looking so much at your personal statement. We're not really looking at your grades, really, but you're still looking at applying for a UCAS personal state, like doing a UCAS application. And once you've done that, they will call you in for an interview, and they will mainly just sit you down and ask about sort of your interest in wider world problems. And they'd want to get a little bit of discussion going with you. They might even talk to you about what they're already looking at within their department to see whether you actually like it as much as they like you, which is very different to university interviews that you might hear about elsewhere. So it's nice and relaxed, but the one thing you've got to be able to do is be passionate about your impact with the wider community, with the projects that you are running, or sort of the things that you are learning outside of your curriculum. My second top tip, just because it's so interdisciplinary with this, is you've got to make sure you've got some very basic mathematical ability. They're not going to be testing you on maths, but just as much as there are lots of humanities modules, there's lots of science modules that you can do as part of this degree. So if you're not doing A-level maths and further maths, try to brush up on your GCSE, maybe a little bit beyond that, going into like an equivalent of AS level mathematics, so that you're confident enough, for instance, if you're looking, perhaps wanting to do like lots of projects with sociology or psychology, or something that relates that, or maybe something anthropological, and it depends on you having to know what a Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is, or understanding like multi-regressional analysis, then you know what those terms mean, and you know how to apply and use those techniques to get some really insightful sort of relationships between actually really sort of human, sort of tangible things within society. Again, it goes back into this idea that actually we want to see impact as your main passion. That's not necessarily your passion to lead to impact. Impact is your passion. That is the idea that you want to bring into your application. And in order to be able to do that, you need a baseline of quantitative skills as well as qualitative. Third option, if you're very early on sort of in your process of like going for universities, maybe even deciding like what courses you go for, I'd say the best courses to take, really, if you're going for LIS, are courses which you really love, which often ends up being courses in both humanities and in the sciences, possibly having an even mixture of different courses so that you're as well-rounded as possible, and you have more experience working across different subjects. I know there are going to be some schools that are going to be more traditional, that are going to be like, you're going to have to study a bunch of sciences together, a bunch of humanities together, in line maybe with going for a very traditional subject. LIS are not looking for that. They're looking at the person, really what makes them interested in what they do, and they're more interested about how you will change the world rather than actually what you want to do immediately at university, and maybe what you want to do as an immediate job to get money afterwards. So in order to demonstrate that impact without saying stuff in your personal statement, show that you are engaged in lots of different subjects from different areas that don't necessarily have an immediate overlap. Tip number 4 in this video is make sure that if you have the opportunity to join lots of different clubs at school, do so. And ideally clubs in different things. So one thing that would be obviously a really great thing to do is maybe joining a debating club of some sort where you have the ability to act sort of critically or sort of exercise critical thinking, deconstruct arguments, maybe look at policies in different cases, see how they could be implemented depending on what you're talking about. Maybe something, a quantitative side of things, maybe a chess society if you want to show that you can process things algorithmically. Or maybe you might want to go and be part of a geography club where you get to do quite a lot of orienteering in different countries and you get to learn about different world cultures. Or you get the opportunity to engage in lots of volunteering and maybe you can help build a school in Africa or something. And the reason why you do that is because maybe you want to fix this issue of inequality in Nambia, for instance, because you see there is a massive discrepancy and basically between the wealthy and those living in poverty. Maybe you want to change or work towards sort of creating sort of ethical and economic policies that work for everybody. But you have to acknowledge that actually there's lots of different angles that you could take with this. So whilst there is a policy approach, maybe there is an anthropological approach. How does money affect people culturally? So there's lots of different directions with this that you can take. And the more that you are active with LIS's ethos. I got to get used to that acronym because it's such a new university. The more you get used to that ethos and you are active in demonstrating it, the better you will be. And my final top tip actually for preparing for LIS, and I did mention that you have to do this as part of your preparation, is make sure that actually you are comfortable in talking to somebody about your passions. You're comfortable in being in an interview. I will say that it's not anywhere near as rigorous as an Oxford or Cambridge interview, but they are going to be really looking again for people who can sort of talk about and back up what they're doing. And actually, interview practice is not something that could be underestimated. You need to take time out of your studies to be able to practice that. For instance, I mean, I'm already having a bit of an amateur dramatics background. I know I look more confident if I got both my feet planted on the ground, I got my shoulders back and I'm smiling and I'm actually looking directly at the camera. I'm actively engaged in actually you, the viewer, and what you might be saying. That already transforms my whole persona into someone who is a bit shy, that might want to do something, to someone that really wants to make a difference in the world with something. That's one of many, many tips that I actually give to many of my students when it comes to interview practice. There's so many more I can give with that, as well as the development of a personal statement for a very unique course like this, as part of, say, one of our undergraduate packages, within educational consultancy. If you want to sort of benefit from that, or you really, at the very least, liked what you've heard and seen today, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and also send this to a few of your friends. Get the word out, that this is something that we can help with. And given that this is such a new course, we'd love to hear a little bit of discourse coming on in the comments. Have you applied to this university yourself? How did you find the experience? Do you attend the university now? What is it that you like most about the degree? And would you sort of inspire other people to apply for it as well? We'd love to be able to get some more information and get in contact and really get a conversation going about this, because it's a really exciting time to see courses like these, almost kind of like a revived general studies degree, actually in practice in a more practical sense. If you are actually, just summarizing everything though we talked about in terms of offering help though, if you are in a position where you might be applying for a university course like this, and you feel like you need the help, we are here. The information on the screen right now leads directly to us as a communication channel. Get in touch with us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can and pair you with an expert, basically within this field. We've got so many of them within the profs here that can help you maximize your applications and actually really make you shine against the competition in going in for courses like these. So please, please don't delay. But until we hear from you, we wish you the best of luck in your immediate future and your applications. And we really do hope to see or hear from you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.